Hi everybody, my name's Tim and welcome to the Flannel Vine. In this video, I'm going to show you if the new theme park for Universal Studios, Epic Universal, is large guy friendly. And I'm going to show you my thoughts on each different town and city that is located in Epic. And I'm going to be showing you these things and giving you my thoughts and opinion. We're going to do this together right now. So immediately when you walk in, you're greeted with, beyond this gate, find gardens green and epic worlds to fill your dreams. And just look at that. Look at this detail and everything like that. Just look at how gorgeous that is. Isn't it just fantastic? We're going to walk through right here. Walking into the main courtyard area, you see this beautiful layout of buildings and just architecture that is just mind-blowing. I can't believe the amount of detail that Universal has put in to this location. It's rather impressive and quite exquisite. I really feel like this park fulfilled the attention to detail and all the design aspects. And you can just see, just by looking, how gorgeous this area is. Now let's go ahead and go through each world so I can show you what they have to offer, what you should ride, and what I feel is a must and what I feel is something you might want to avoid. Now, one thing I do want to mention is Epic does offer the ability to dine if you're looking to indulge in what they offer for food. This right here is the Atlantic restaurant. I did not get a chance to eat at this restaurant. However, Universal does offer quite a bit of options for those that are looking to eat while enjoying the park. Now, if you're on a budget-friendly trip, I generally would say pack something to snack on throughout the whole entire stay here. Now, one thing you also do want to make sure that you include with your planning is parking. Now, there's 3 different ways that I've noticed that you can plan your parking, so you definitely want to plan ahead on this. You can either park at the actual Epic Park itself. If you're staying at a hotel, they offer the ability to take their buses that drop you off in front of the gate. And then there's also the option of, if you're going to be park hopping, go into the actual City Walk, where you can take a bus here, and the buses here will also take you to the area of City Park where you can go and actually hop from park to park, because Universal and Islands of Adventure are right next to each other. So be sure that you do plan ahead with parking. When you park at, I believe, here, as well as City Park, it's roughly $35. So just be mindful that you will have to pay for parking, whether you choose to park here or at the City Walk. And so we're at the first area, which is the Super Mario, Super Nintendo area, whatever you want to call it, of Epic Universe. I'm going to take you in and show you around, give you my thoughts on all the attractions here, and let's go ahead and take a look. You just look here. This is the first area, which is the Super Nintendo area, or Super Mario of Epic Universe. It is just ridiculous. They really put a lot of effort into the design aspect. Just look at the effects of the screen. It's really impressive. Really cool here. They have the N64 version of Mario, so Mario N64, and just all the different designs of the actual castle. In this game, I remember you had to like hop into each painting and like do the different worlds of Mario and beat those in order to get to Bowser. So we're just going to take a quick look around here, and so I can just show you how detailed this area is. It's rather remarkable. I'm very impressed with this. And again, this is just the pre-screening of the park. The park doesn't open until May, so mid-May. I believe it's May 21st, or maybe it's the 22nd. But either way, this is just giving you an inside look beforehand, before it opens up. I just want to make sure I give you guys my thoughts and make sure it's worth it for everybody. Just remarkable detail. All right, now, so we're getting ready for the big reveal of the actual Super Nintendo Land or Super Mario Land. And just, wow, look at this. You can just see the absolute detail here. All the colors here are just spot on with what it looks like. What I would expect it to look like in an actual video game for Super Mario or Super Nintendo. Now, there is side quests that you can do here, and you need one thing, and that is an actual wristband where you can actually interact with the surroundings, and you can do like little side quests on the Universal app, which is another thing that you really want to make sure that you have when you visit any Universal park, is the actual Universal app. The Universal app. So it is one thing that definitely suggests that you do. And if you look now, I can show you what exactly you'd need. Just the sounds are crazy. It's so awesome. So one thing I definitely do want to note is you'll see these spinning golden keys behind me. Now those do play a role, and you have to have the Super Nintendo like Mario Interactive Band. So when you do that, you're able to get all the keys by doing various quests around this area. And when you can unlock that, there's a special ride where you get to defeat Bowser, and it's well worth it. Now, one thing you do need for that is the actual interactive armband, and it's just a little slap, like a slap band thing that you just put on your wrist. This keeps track on the actual Universal app and allows you to do the side quests for both this area as well as Donkey Kong Land, which I'm going to be showing you here in just a little bit. All right, here's the first one, which is the Super Mario Kart interactive ride. You can actually use that same armband that I was just telling you with this game, and it keeps track and adds coins to your app. I've done this one twice already, and it's a very fun ride. Right now, it's in a brief delay. As in Universal style, at the end of each ride, you do generally exit out at a shop front, and this is the actual Super Mario or Nintendo store. And this is where you can get your wristbands. These wristbands cost roughly $45, not including tax. So if you're wanting to do the interactive things, be sure to plan ahead and at least allocate $45 for an actual wristband like this one right here. But this store is rather remarkable. It's crazy how much actual Mario and just pretty much Mario or Super Nintendo things they have in here. It's just crazy. Just take a look for yourself. It's a quick scan of this store. Here's another place where you can get food at in Super Mario World. There's one downstairs, and I believe that's called Toadstool's Cafe. And I do apologize if it's difficult to actually hear me. The music is loud. Now, that's one thing that I will say about a majority of these parks, or And that's one thing I will say about a majority of the little lands in Epic Universe is there's so much going on, so it might be overwhelming to individuals that have sensitivity to sounds or colors or just things moving in all aspects. So be sure to keep that in mind while you're traveling with family or those individuals that might have issues with a lot happening or a lot of music or a lot of just general busyness, because this will be really busy when they open, and I'm sure that they're gonna increase the volume in order to accommodate the size of crowd that will show up here. So if you are traveling with somebody that has sound sensitivity, I would highly suggest getting some kind of sound canceling headphones. That might help. I've seen individuals with their children wearing those throughout the park when I was here, and as well as when I was at the other Universal Studios theme parks. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And like I said earlier, that's the Toadstool Cafe. You can see what they offer on their virtual menu right there. And that's one thing I do want to mention too, is when you're here at Universal Studio, you can order food through the app and they'll bring it right out to your table, as long as that restaurant that you're at does offer that aspect. And here's the other ride, the Yoshi's Adventure. I'm not really too sure what's going on with this ride. I don't understand it really well, but it's a great one for kids, nonetheless. All right, now we're moving on to the next area of the Super Mario World and Super Nintendo Land, which is the Donkey Kong Village, or Donkey Kong Country, that is. So let's go ahead and I'm going to show you the things to do in here right now. So one thing you do want to keep in mind, just like I said in the other Super Mario World land, is it is really loud here, but the scenery here is just great. The actual design and everything that they've done with this park is really impressive. Now, one thing that I'll show you right now is some of the interactive things that you can do with this Nintendo wristband that is connected to the app. You can unlock different side quests for both this world as well as the Super Mario World area. So right now I'm going to show you just an example of what you can do with this wristband in Donkey Kong Country. So essentially, one of the side quests that you need to do with this is collect all the letters of K-O-N-G. So right here, you just, right there, bam. You just tap it right there. And it's really crazy how nice this is, actually. Here's another restaurant, the Bubbly Barrel, where you can get some refreshing drinks and probably some snacks. And this right here is the one ride that is crazy busy all the time, and actually there's only a 35-minute wait, which is crazy awesome. This is the Minecart Madness. This one is ridiculously cool. I've been on this once and it's just amazing. See the detail that they did in this. There it goes. There you go. There it goes. Such a fun ride. Now, one thing that is nice about Universal Studios is they have a little side area just before the ride. Just behind me, you can see that you can test the actual ride itself. Is to make sure that you'll fit, make sure it's comfortably snug with the securing bars or anything like that. So that's one nice key feature that they do. Now, this one was a little bit of a snug fit, but I feel this one is definitely big guy friendly for the most part. I weigh roughly about 265, 270 pounds. So this one is definitely one of those where it's a little bit of a snug fit, but it's definitely big guy friendly in my books. If you are unsure if you'll be able to comfortably fit in something, I would definitely recommend going ahead and trying those actual stations that they provide in front of each line. That is definitely a nice touch that they add to all of the rides. I've noticed that throughout both other Universal Studios, they have that option to actually try out the seats for whatever way that the ride is set up. and it actually has the actual bars that come down or the securing devices that they use. So that way that you're able to make sure that this will be comfortable for you or if it's a valid fit. But again, with the Donkey Kong ride, I think it is definitely big guy friendly in my book, in my aspect. But if you're unsure, definitely try it before. It's one of those that you definitely don't want to miss if you're able to comfortably fit in it. Here's another one. Collecting the letters with the armbands. It's definitely something that is a unique touch with Universal's Epic Universe Park. I know that they do this in other Universal Studios parks, but that's around the country. So I think the other one is California. I'm not sure about the international ones though. So this is definitely something fun. Here's another one. So my thoughts and opinion on the actual Donkey Kong Minecart ride, definitely a solid 5 out of 5. The one thing I did run into when I rode the ride is that there was a little bit of a delay, but that's because they're in a pre-screening period, so they're just kind of doing a rough start to make sure that they can smooth out whatever kinks they have before opening. And again, I do think that that ride is big guy friendly, which is definitely a plus. That was cool. All right, so here's my consensus on the Super Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. Now they do offer that same thing that they do at all the other rides where you can actually try the seat before you actually ride. This one is a little bit snug as well, but I feel like it's comfortable enough that you can do this. It's an interactive ride where you can actually shoot different things like you are in the actual Mario Kart games, and it uses some really cool technology. I don't want to give too much away, but most definitely a solid 5 out of 5 for a ride. I would definitely check this out. Make sure that you allow yourself enough time to wait in line. This is definitely one you want to use that Fast Pass for. It's worth it. I did this ride twice, so definitely a solid 5 out of 5 for this ride. One thing about Universal Studios that's nice is that they do offer a lot of mobility options for those that are handicapped or mobility impaired. There's several different rides that offer like elevators, and there's different areas around the park that do offer elevators for those that are mobilely impaired. And you can see that I'm really sweaty, and that's because I'm wearing my flannel for the Flannel Vine. Now, you definitely do want to dress accordingly because it does get hot. This is the way out when you're actually going through the exit of the Super Mario World land and back out to the main park. So my thoughts on the Super Mario World and also Donkey Kong are that it's very nice. It's just so detailed. There's just so much going on. It's a little overwhelming at times, but at the same time, it's super fun. I would definitely rank both of those worlds something that you want to do, and something that is definitely a solid at least 4.8 out of 5 for both worlds combined. The rides there are ridiculously fun. The Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, as well as the Minecart Madness and Donkey Kong World, or Donkey Kong Village. I can't remember what it is. There's just so much going on that I'm having difficulties even remembering. But those two rides are definitely a must go to. So I definitely highly suggest you guys visit that area and enjoy those rides. Also, if you're able to purchase one of those armbands, go ahead and do that too, because that's super fun and it's a nice interactive way to get just to get some entertainment. Now in the main central area of the park, you can stop and get some ice cream at Frosty Moon, and then actually sit and enjoy the fountain and the scenery of all the buildings around. There's also a main stage that you can kind of see in the distance. We'll walk around here so you can see it, but they do some live performances and live bands here, which is really cool. But just check out the view though. It's just gorgeous. You could also get some adult beverages over there. Looks like they got daiquiris. So that's definitely something to keep in mind if you're over here and you're wanting to indulge in some nice tasty treats or something. So be sure to check that out if that's something that intrigues you. As you see behind me, we're entering the Darkness Village. It's where like Frankenstein and all of like the Werewolf for Epic Universal is pretty much in that area. That's where this land is based off of. It's a really dark, cool, like spooky little village. Definitely something that I would recommend going through if you like that kind of stuff. Just put a little bit of forewarning for smaller children and those that might get scared easily. We're gonna walk through now so I can show you just the area and what attractions are there, and then also let you know a little bit about the rides. And this is the entrance of it. It's just so spectacular. And I do apologize once again about the loud volume. I'm going to try and fix that throughout this video, but again, the music is super loud. Again, forewarning for those that are sensitive to loud noises and such. This park is rather loud and there's a lot going on. With the expected crowds as it opens, as this is just a technical viewing, it's definitely going to get louder, more packed, very busy. It's going to be busy probably for the next year. So I definitely want to bring that to everybody's attention. That does come here if you get overwhelmed easily with loud sounds or just a large group of people. Definitely be sure that you are planning accordingly for those individuals that are affected by that kind of stuff. But this land is just super, super cool. Look at this area. It's just really detail oriented. There's Das Steakhouse. There's obviously something going on here. We're gonna take a look around. It's a little steakhouse. Look at that. Look at those visual effects and everything. It's just so cool. Here we have the Monsters Uncharted, Frankenstein's attraction ride. Now this one is kind of like the other rides that do the 3D and movement experience. So if you have like any kind of motion sickness, definitely keep that in mind with this video. And just like the other rides and the other areas of this park, as well as the other Universals, there is a try it before you ride it area. So you can see right there if you can fit into the actual ride itself and make sure that you're comfortable enough to enjoy the ride. That's what the ride looks like. Now for us big guys with the Frankenstein Monsters Uncharted ride, it might be a little bit challenging to squeeze in there, but it's definitely worth it. But it's definitely worth it if you can and fit comfortably. It is a rather dark ride. There's a lot of gore and stuff that's involved with that. I wasn't the biggest fan, but for those that are interested in horror and also like the Frankenstein series, I'm not really familiar with the movies that this is based on. Just, I just never seen it, but that ride is really cool in the aspect of the special effects and what they did with it. The line, when you go through it, is really detailed. It's super, super awesome. I'll be showing you guys that throughout this talk. I did take some videos while I was walking through and rode this. I did not take any when I was riding it, actually. That's really forbidden in this park, and if they catch you doing it, they will kick you out. So make sure that you're not doing anything like that. It's not worth the risk, to be honest, especially with the price tag on the Epic Universal admission fee or for the ticket for it. But the Frankenstein Monsters Uncharted ride, I'm going to give this one, unfortunately, a 3 out of 5. It just wasn't my cup of tea The only thing that gave it that rating is just the special effects of when you're walking to the ride and like the prerequisite room where they kind of tell you about what's going on and like the safety speech and everything. So a 3 out of 5 for the Monsters Uncharted Frankenstein ride. Now walking around the Darkness Village, you can see there's the Burning Blade Tavern. That's another place to eat. They have some cool different items on there. There's actually like a burger bun that's like black, kind of fit the aspect of the village and the darkness and everything. I have not ate there, but it's something to keep in mind if you're interested. But just showing you around this area real quick, it's just super detailed and it's super fun. And that's the next ride I'm going to be telling you about. This right here, I believe, is the Curse of the Werewolf. It is a very fun ride. All right, so by consensus on the Curse of the Werewolf ride, solid 5 out of 5. It's really crazy. You spin around in circles at certain times, and it is a roller coaster. It's very fun. As you can see behind me, there it goes. It's really cool. I don't really understand the whole werewolf story behind it or what movie it's tied to. I'm sure it's just some basic, Universal werewolf movie. And I probably sound ridiculous saying this, and I'm sure there's people in the comments just waiting to have at it on me because I don't know what movie this is based off of. It has to go with the whole Melinda, the fortune teller, and the Curse of the Werewolf and everything. A solid 5 out of 5 for this. Now, is it big guy friendly? To be honest, it is a tight squeeze, just as the last couple rides were. But if you're willing to squeeze in there and hold that gut in for a solid 3 minutes, it's well worth the ride. I will say that there is also a test area where you can sit down and test it. When I was filming this, there was some wheelchairs in front of it, so I couldn't really talk and also, film at the same time because there were some attendants standing over there, I think, trying to make sure nobody sits in it. I don't know if there's some kind of error or issue with the actual try before you ride thing. But definitely, it is a little bit tight for us big guys. And now you can see right here, let's see, there it goes. Yeah, it's definitely, it is big guy friendly, but if you're pretty heavy set, you might want to consider trying that before you do ride it. If you do have issues with kind of spinning around and going up and down, but there's an actor right there. What are those? The park actors. But if you do have an issue of going around in circles and going back and forth and a lot of speed and everything like that with roller coasters, that's something that you do want to keep in mind with this ride. But I honestly rate this, the Curse of the Werewolf ride a solid 5 out of 5. All right, so my consensus on the Darkness Village is it's super spooky. I will say that it might not be meant for children or those who are easily, spooked out. But the detail of it is just remarkable. I will say both of the rides are relatively decent. I think the Curse of the Werewolf is probably the better out of the two. The Frankenstein one, honestly, it just wasn't my jam. It might be yours though. So with this world, the darkness area or the land of the darkness, I'm going to rate it a solid 4 out of 5. I would have given it 5 if the rides were just better, but there's some solid restaurants there. Definitely check it out if you're heading this way to Epic. Make sure that you also just walk around the village, even if none of the rides appeal to you, because just the scenery alone and just the design and all the different decorations are well worth the time. And most definitely, check it out. That was the Darkness Village. I could be wrong on the name. I could be butchering the name really bad, so I do apologize, but I do please pardon the shakiness, because I'll tell you why I'm shaky here in just a little bit. Really crazy news. So yeah, here's one area that's not quite ready for the technical rehearsal. It's a Pan-Asian restaurant called the Blue Dragon. I'm really intrigued by this one. I wish it was open. I would be more than happy to try this. However, I just don't think they're ready yet. But one thing I do want to point out is just look at this beautiful fountain. You can see the main carousel dome right there. It's just remarkably beautiful, and just the actual aesthetic of the aesthetic of the fountain itself. Now at night, towards the end, they start applying like lights to it, and it looks really pretty. If I have any footage of that, I'll show it right now. But it's also really nice because you can just kind of like lay in those grass areas and kind of watch it. It's kind of like a light show, but water show mixed. But it's just super pretty. And most definitely, if you're looking just to kind of relax and get off your feet for a little bit, this is one area where you could do that. It's certainly a nice, peaceful area. The music isn't that loud or intense, which is nice as well. Needless to say, this is one area that I would definitely check out if you're looking for a place to rest at the Epic Universal theme park. All right, and probably the moment that everybody's waiting for. I know that there's a lot of people probably watching this video for this section of the video, and I do apologize it took so long to get here, but it's well worth the wait, and I appreciate you watching. Now, the next area is the Harry Potter section of Epic Universal. Now, the Ministry of Magic is here, as well as the highly sought out Harry Potter ride. Now, one thing to keep in mind is if you're coming here during the technical rehearsal, you've got to be on the app in order to get on the ride. Now, the reason why I was shaky here in the other, the last section that I filmed was I was on the app and the little queue thing popped up. So the virtual line queue popped up and I refreshed and I lost my place. And that was roughly a couple minutes before the first drop time. Then I waited, 3 o'clock happened, and just a little bit after 3, I was walking up to the concierge just to check and see what's going on and see if there's any way of, if there was some kind of glitch or something, and it popped up again, and I was able to actually get in. So this is one thing that I am super thrilled about. I was pretty bummed out earlier the first day that I came here that I was not able to ride that. So I'm super pumped right now. The time that I selected was available as a single rider. That's also a perk. So one thing you want to keep in mind is if you're coming here by yourself, you tend to get on rides a little bit faster. A lot of the rides do have the option for single riders to get on. You do go through the line really fast. The only downside to that is you don't get to see like the actual walkthrough of the line itself. But needless to say, I'm super excited that I'm able to go on to the Ministry of Magic ride. It's crazy because even the concierge desk was like, it's really hard to get on it, so congratulations, you actually got a spot. One thing they did tell me, which I did do, believe me, I most certainly did, is if you're able to secure your line, as soon as that QR code pops up, take a screenshot. That's the only way that they can verify that you had it, because sometimes the app will like refresh and you lose it, and then you're kind of out of luck. So be sure that if you are able, and they are still doing a virtual queue, to take a screenshot of that QR code. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the Harry Potter Village at Epic Universal. Let's go ahead and dive in. So just as you approach the area of Harry Potter at the Ministry of Magic, you're met with this gorgeous statue of a hand holding a wand, super high up in the sky, that says, "For in dreams we enter a world that is entirely our own." And again, the design and the just decorated, the decorations and how they did these special effects is just remarkable. So I'm super excited to take you guys through this. I'll be showing you some videos of my previous visit from the first day I was here. This is the second day, but needless to say, I'm sure it's just as whimsical and magical as the first time. Here you got some cool little Metropolitan signs. Now, this isn't from the regular Harry Potter that everybody is probably used to now. The Fantastic Beasts series that was made after the original Harry Potter series is what this area is based on. So like I said, this area is based off of the Fantastic Beasts series that is after the Harry Potter series that everybody knows and loves. It's based in like the Paris of 1920s era. It's really cute. There's a lot of different shops here. There's a lot of different restaurants here. Now be mindful that since it's keeping with the theme, a lot of it is French food. And with a culinary background and going to culinary school, I recognized it myself. But keep that translation app handy if you can, if you have one, or just Google it. Make sure you understand what they're serving you if you do decide to go to a restaurant here, because a lot of it is French-based things. But they do serve butterbeer here. They have the butterbeer ice cream here, and they have a cool little speakeasy bar that I'm going to take you to. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the actual area here. And you can see it's just basically like a little mini France. So just go ahead and look at that right there. Remarkable. Crazy, crazy, crazy cool aesthetics and also the design. But look at this right here. Look at this structure right here. You got the Phoenix right there. Super crazy. Super beautiful. Now, just as the regular Universal Studios, as well as Islands of Adventures, there are interactive areas where you can use an interactive wand here. I'll show you what one of those are. There's several different options you have. Now, if you are not able to get into Epic Universal, they do carry different wands here. It's a whole entire different situation. Now, with here, there's the wand shop, and it's not based off the, usual, the wand chooses the wizard. In this area, it's based off of the wizard chooses the wand. And both of those are interactive. I think that I like the aspect of the wand choosing the wizard better than the wizard choosing the wand. Now, after speaking with one of the store workers at the wand shop, she kind of explained the wand smith that works there. It's a French lady, very cute. The actor that plays the wand smith at that shop. And basically how it was explained to me is with the aspect of the wizard choosing the wand is accompanying the attributes of the wizard itself, and it's meant for like a luxurious manner, not as like, unveiling the powers within, where the wand is teaching the wizard and the wizard teaching the wand. So one thing to keep in mind is it's definitely a different set of wands here, so they're pretty exclusive. When I talked to people over at the Universal, they said that they might be bringing over those wands that they have here at Epic eventually, but if you're able to get yourself an interactive wand here, I would highly look at what they have, and if one of them chooses you, go ahead and pick it up, even though that you're supposed to choose it here. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look around this awesome Harry Potter village. Now, this was the first park that I went to when I visited Universal and also Orlando, Florida. We stopped here first because we were able to get exclusive tickets, and I was able to snag some this morning as well for my last day here. And here we have the famous butterbeer. It's really unique. Highly suggest trying that out if you haven't. And here they have like a circus kind of live show. So if you have children that are able to sit through an entertainment show that they have at like theme parks, I've heard great things about this attraction. They have different shows throughout the day, so it's definitely something to check out. So here they have different areas. This is actually a candy shop here where you can get different things. They have a lot of this available over at the other Harry Potter villages and Harry Potter towns. This one's just a little bit more appealing to the Fantastic Beasts and the whole French 1920s era. And now you're getting to like the more darker side of the town. There's also a restaurant here. And one thing that is really cool is there's this little speakeasy that I'm trying to find, and I think it's in the next section over. Here we have Bar Moonshine, and you can get some rather magnificent drinks here. Okay, thank you so much.
Actually, let you know we don't have the giggle water.
Okay, thank you. So here is the menu for Bar Moonshine. And they are out of the giggle water. They were out of that as well last time. So the last one I had was the sherbet lemon, when it was kind of like a play on a Moscow Mule, but a little bit more citrusy. I heard good things about the Lobe Blaster and the Fleur. But you could also get butterbeer here. And that is, of course, not alcoholic. They don't serve alcoholic butterbeer here. Now, as I mentioned earlier, they don't serve alcoholic butterbeer here. That doesn't exist. If you ask somebody about it here, they're going to say, nope, doesn't exist. I don't even know what you mean. But there is something that you can do, and it's a little tip and secret here. You can do this at a majority of the Harry Potter areas in any of the Universal Studios, but if you're going to do this, don't do it in front of the bartender, because you can get kicked out for it, and they can get in trouble too. So if you want an alcoholic version of butterbeer, what you can do is buy a side shot of fire whiskey and then also a regular butterbeer, walk out with it, and go around a quarter and pour it and mix it together. And believe me, you'll thank me later when you do that, because it is fantastic. Most definitely something that, if you are indulging and you want to try that, I would highly suggest it. Just be prepared. It is a little pricey, especially if you do a double shot, but I would recommend a double shot of the fire whiskey that they have. And it's not your Fireball. It's definitely something different. If you want to try that, go for it. But there are other drinks at the Moonshine Bar. I highly recommend trying them. They are a little bit pricey, but they're worth it, especially if you like those speakeasy-esque type of drinks from like the 1920s. Very floral, very botanical, very like old-fashioned style. I highly recommend going to Bar Moonshine, that is behind me, as you can see right here. If you're in the area and you're of age and you're able to, stop here while you're at Epic. Most definitely. So over here is an example of a interactive wand station. As you see right there, there's the little like compass dial, and there's an arrow pointing towards the window. So basically with that, you just do the motion that is outlined there and say the actual wand spell, and it does something to interact with your wand. Now, I'm pretty sure that you can do this with either the first or second generation. I don't know if there's a third generation and if that's only exclusive to Epic Universal, but this is definitely something, if you do have one of those interactive wands or you want to pick one up, you can do that here at Epic Universal. There's a lot of shops here, and I will say that a lot of these items that you do find at Epic are not available at the other shops throughout the Universal Studios. And most definitely, if you see something here, you might not be able to get it at the other shops. So be sure to try and get that. And here is the other wand shop that I was telling you about. The Cosme Acjor, I believe. And that is the wandsmith, the French wandsmith. And here you can see the other different types of wands. Here's a little sneak peek of the wands that are exclusive to Epic Universal. You have the acacia, the fir, the ivy, the oak, the vine, the dogwood, the holly, the reed, the willow, and the rosewood. And it's beautifully laid out here across the wall and exclusive to the Epic Universe Park. And you can see they also do have some other ones that I have not seen at the other park. You can see here. Right here you can see the original from Ollivanders. And I don't remember seeing a lot of these at the Ollivanders in the other Universals. But just look at this store. This store is just gorgeous. Super gorgeous. Upstairs is Madame's office. And this is just a beautiful store. And there she is doing her magic right there. Good to see the different wands that are available. Now the wands here are still Gen 1 wands. They are not Gen 2. Just as the Ollivanders series, these are also Gen 1s. And just another quick look, these are the Generation 2 wands that light up and also vibrate when a spell is casted at a action station. And here's just another layout and a brief look over of the other part of the store. Just look at this beautiful store. And just in front of us is the entrance for the Ministry of Magic. We go through the Metro Flue, which I will walk you through because I was actually able to get a QR code to ride the Battle of the Ministry, which is a highly sought out attraction. So they have a virtual queue for it. And as I was saying earlier, I was ecstatic when I was able to secure my place in that line. But just a quick glance at the rest of this city. You have this beautiful statue right here. And this is actually a wand station where you can have this squirt out water. As you see, the ground is wet. Stroller parking for the Ministry of Magic. There are several places where you can actually park strollers if you're here with family and little ones, which is a nice little addition to the park. And they seem to accommodate families rather well at the Universal Studios Park. Nonetheless, all around they are pretty accommodating to both families, single people, as well as those with disabilities, whether it be hearing, mobility, or seeing, I suppose. But that's also a really nice touch for individuals that have disabilities. So we're going to go in and see the Ministry of Magic next. So let's go ahead and walk right into the Metro Flue. All right, so now we're walking into the Ministry of Magic. So you have to go through the Metro Flue. Or you have to go through the Metro Flue, and you'll see that right here.
Be prepared to step forward. If anyone approaches you for money in exchange for travel on the Metro Flue de Paris, do not curse them. Simply petrify them and let them defy the security.
Just one.
903.
903? All right. Here we have the magnificent Ministry of Magic. Just look at this detail. It's just remarkable, incredible. All right, so I'm getting ready to go into the actual Harry Potter ride here and the magnificent Battle of the Ministry. So I'm going to go ahead and ride this real quick. I might take some video and show you here while I'm walking through. It might be a little bit silent. I might put some music in the background. Who knows? But anyway, I will tell you my thoughts at the end of this, and I will tell you if it's big guy friendly or not, as well as my rating of it. I've heard really great things about this ride, so I'm looking forward to it, and I'm super excited. Super lucky that I got the opportunity to actually get a QR code for this. And again, if you are here at Epic and they're still doing the virtual queue, be sure you download the app and be sure you're on top of the actual virtual queue. You gotta be fast, you gotta be like on time. There's several different times that they drop the virtual queue. Anyway, let's go ahead and give this ride a try. All right, if you look in that top right-hand corner, you can see like some kind of like fish-looking thing swimming. It's really hard to see from here, probably on the screen, but it's really cool. Just super beautiful. So much detail. I'm guessing that's some kind of screen. So you can see the things moving in that corner right there. It's really pretty. Super nice. Super nice job on this. So much detail. Remarkable. Very magical and mystical. Just look at that ceiling. Wow. Here you can see this is the ride right here, the Ministry. Kind of got to be a little bit stealthy with this recording because I'm pretty sure it's not allowed. But if it isn't, you may say something, I'll just stop recording. But until then, I'm going to show everybody the walkthrough of this ride. Wow.
Not to worry. This particular trial should be fairly straightforward and speedy. Operator is guilty, and she's going to Azkaban. There will be a fair trial.
Wow. This is remarkable. Oh, look at that. It's crazy. Interactive stuff.
Time is of the essence. Report immediately or risk censure.
Oh yes, he and that little cow have history. And there are others.
Such is the need for more else.
No. Thank you. Wow.
She worked at your meow. She worked in the nursery. I thought her meow.
Please excuse the miss, sir. Teacher, packing up the orders before the business. Not an easy task when you learn with the trucks and pills and toys.
Exclusive Harry Potter ride. Battle at the Ministry photo. I'll have to take a still shot and show you guys. My face is ridiculous. It's just a blank stare. Alright, I just got finished riding Harry Potter in the Battle at the Ministry. Giving my thoughts and opinions in a quieter place. So let's go ahead and step out of the Metro Loop. And we'll give you thoughts about that. Alright, so I just got done riding the Battle at the Ministry of Magic, Harry Potter ride at Epic Universal, and I will say it's definitely very unique. I've never ridden a ride that's like that as far as how it's set up. It's pretty jerky, I'll say that. It's very fun, but at the same time, I have never been known myself, or I'm not used to the fact of feeling like nauseous, but it is so realistic, and the actual cinematics and everything that they use are so realistic that I almost was pretty nauseous, but nonetheless I still enjoyed it. I will also say that I was really impressed with the actual setup of it and how they use animatronics. At some point I thought they were actual actors. They're so realistic. So that's one thing that I was just really blown away by. The movement of the cart is super unique, especially when they do that with the actual movement with the ride itself. It's just crazy how they did that. And the fact that everything looks so realistic. There was points there where I thought were super real because of the video being so like crisp, as well as with the animatronics. So it's just very well done. As far as the movement of the ride, it's not smooth by any means. There's points where it's really smooth, but there's also points where it's extremely jerky. I will say that if you get easily motion sick, be careful with this ride. It's worth it, most definitely. As far as what I would rank it, is a solid 4.5 out of 5. I don't really get the storyline of it. It doesn't really make sense. It does go a lot with the Fantastic Beasts movie, but it also ties into the Harry Potter films, which kind of doesn't make sense, especially with the time frame being a little different. But needless to say, a solid, 4.8, 4.5 out of 5. One of those two. Probably 4.5 because I've never been nauseous on the ride before, and that was like one of the first times. It could be because I didn't eat yet, but I also didn't know what to expect, so I didn't want to ruin it by eating something. I will say that this is definitely something that you will have to make sure that you get on top of if they're still doing the virtual queue. You're going to want to make sure that you definitely download the Universal app and just make sure you're clicking on that button, spam click that button, and as soon as it pops up blue, don't panic, just kind of just wait there. Especially if you're dropping it a couple minutes before or after the set drop time. I would just wait and select the number of people and then just hope that a time pops up. And as soon as that time pops up, keep on selecting it until it comes available and the QR code pops up, and then immediately just take a picture of it. But that was definitely a highlight of the day today and a highlight of my trip. So I'm glad that I was able to ride that, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the little walkthrough. So we're going to go ahead and walk the rest of the park. Unfortunately, this park closes at 6. It's 4:59 right now. So we're going to go ahead and do a quick look around the other parts of the park, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts on the entire park. All right, so now I'm leaving the Harry Potter Village area of Universal, and my thoughts are the actual design and decor is definitely French, definitely accurate in that aspect. Give it a solid 5 out of 5. Definitely something you want to stop by, get some food. And again, like I said, it does have a heavy French influence. So most definitely, I would definitely try to get here and do the Harry Potter section if you're a big Harry Potter fan. And make sure you watch the Fantastic Beasts, because a lot of this will not make sense if you're not familiar with that series at all. All right, so now we're in the Celestial Park of the Epic Universe, and I had to switch cameras because my other camera was out of batteries, so now I'm using my DSLR, and hopefully it's focused. All right, so here we have the Starlink or Stardust, I think it's Stardust Racers. I rode this on the first day that I was here, and needless to say, I was not the biggest fan. Mainly because the attraction itself made me float out of my chair a little bit, and 270-pound man just floating out of the chair and into the lap bar is just not my cup of tea. As far as the thrill goes, it will definitely provide you that thrill without a doubt, and I mean, out of respect for the ride itself, I just can give it only like a 3.8 out of 5. It's very fast, very jerky. It does feel like you're flying, and you do race the other kart, as you can see right here. There it goes. I will say that it is definitely not big guy friendly by any means, especially because it doesn't matter how much you weigh. Everybody that I've spoken to has said that they've floated out of their chair quite a bit. And not to mention, it's just one of those that are just relatively crazy. So the Stardust Racers, 3.8 out of 5. Definitely not big guy friendly by any means. But you're willing to try it if you can fit in the seat. They do have one of those little like try it before you ride things, just as the other rides do. So we're gonna go ahead and go to the next town. Unfortunately, I don't have very much time here. When I bought the tickets today, I was under the impression it was going to be open for the normal times, which is usually 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. But as soon as I pulled in to pay for parking, they did say that there is a private event happening at 6 p.m., so the park is closing. So I literally only have 22 minutes to show you guys the rest of this and give you my thoughts on all of them. Now we're gonna go over to the How to Train Your Dragon Land. There are several cool rides over here. This land is really cool. I'm gonna walk through it really quick. I am very sorry that I don't have that much time here, but I got here a little bit later thinking that it was gonna be open later, but fortunately it's not. Spent a lot of time in the Super Mario Town and Donkey Kong World, and I might end up there because I want to do the Donkey Kong ride one more time. But luckily, I think this is the last land to walk through, which is the How to Train Your Dragon. So I'm going to walk through real quick, give you my thoughts on each ride, because I did ride a majority of them.
I just thought of the best.
So let's go ahead and take a look. We, my friends, have a dragon. Let's take a look at this park, man. It's just crazy gorgeous. And there is the firefighters ride. I didn't get to ride that one. That one looks like it's like a water thingy. I don't really know where that's at, honestly. I don't know if that's even open yet. I was looking on the app and I did see something about it, but this roller coaster is rather amazing. It's very cool. So this is called the Dragons Racers. I did not ride this, but if you look at the chair, it seems like it might not be big guy friendly for the most part. It does look like it's a rather tight squeeze, but at the same time, can't really rate that one because I never rode on it, but I don't really have a desire to either. This one's the roller coaster, which is the Hiccups. Yeah, this is the roller coaster one. I rode this one. That one's a solid 4.9 out of 5, man. It's really fun. It is a little bit of a tight squeeze for big guys. So I would say it's 50-50 on the big guy friendly. I was able to fit in it. It was comfortable. I made sure that lap bar was really tight because I didn't want to fall out. And I did float out of my seat one or two times, but nothing crazy. So it was worth it to me. Solid 4.8 out of 5 for that ride. I really did enjoy it. It was one of my favorite ones. The storyline behind it's really cool too. There's the animatronic. Sorry about the lighting. I'm not used to this camera right now, so I'm kind of just winging it. This is the fire drill. I think it's one where you like shoot water at targets or something. I'm not really too sure. I would ride it, but really don't have that much time, like I said. Anyway, this is a really cool land. You can kind of see what's going on down here. It's a water ride. Oh yeah, so you shoot cannons. That's pretty cool. You shoot water cannons at targets. So that's a fun game for the family. Fun ride for the family, I'm sure. I guess you're just going around in a little circle, but that's definitely a little kid ride. 100% big guy friendly. I'm sure big guys can fit on that just fine. Oh wow, look at that guy. The design of this place is just remarkable. It's extremely like, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. There's just so much to it. This part of the park is definitely family friendly, big guy friendly for the most part. A little bit tight squeeze for 2 of the rides, the main attractions. The roller coaster, though, by far is one of my favorite here. One trick here that you want to keep in mind is drinks are super expensive here at Universal. If you're able to spare $6 and get a water bottle, most of the Coke stations that you can customize your Coca-Colas will allow you to fill up your water bottle, which is very nice, thankfully. And there's several water fountains around the facility that you can fill up your water, which is also very nice as well. But if you're going to be here for multiple days and you like soft drink beverages, I will say that getting one of those Coke cups and refilling it is definitely the way to go. I don't drink soda myself. I do drink sparkling water, so they have that option too, which is nice. I will say that the initial purchase is like $18, which is taxing. That's super aggressive on that. I guess if you are going to be at Universal for a couple of days, you can use that that little Coca-Cola cup twice, or as many times as you want. You just have to pay for each additional day. I don't know if they have like multiple day packs or anything. I know it costs $11 for an additional day, which isn't bad, I guess, if you're able to spend a whole day there. I will say that if you do use it, you can't like go through like a whole cup and go right back up to it. It does have a time limit. It's like 6 minutes and some odd seconds per refill, which I understand the reason behind that, but at the same time, it's kind of a disappointment, especially if you're like super thirsty and you just chug down, you know, some water with a splash of lemonade in it or something, you know. So I just left the Minecart Madness, and I was literally the last person on the ride. Solid 4.8 out of 5. It's one of my favorites. And I'm gonna have to revert my last rating for that one because my hair's just crazy right now.
Well, that's why we
Windy.
don't want to go that way.
But the Minecart Madness is definitely big guy friendly. I was able to fit my bag that I'm carrying right now with the shopping bags I have in between my legs and comfortably pull the lap bar down. I fit in the seat just well. Definitely big guy friendly ride. So I think earlier I said it was kind of a tight squeeze. I mean, if you're a bigger guy, big guy, it might be a little bit of a tight squeeze, but most definitely you'll be able to pull that lap bar down or whatever, and you should be comfortable in it. I've seen some pretty big people ride it, including myself. Totally big guy friendly. So basically, that was my time at Epic Universe. Not sure if I was able to record everything as I was walking out because battery issues again. But needless to say, kind of a big letdown because when you purchase tickets and the website says 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., you kind of expect to be there from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And unfortunately, it's a rather big letdown when you get to the parking area and they're like, hey, we close at 6 today, just so you know. And that wasn't even listed on the website. I doubt Universal will watch that, but that's like a huge disappointment. I mean, luckily I was able to get into the Harry Potter ride, which I will say was the saving grace of this trip to Epic for this day. Now, as far as the park goes, every time I do some kind of review, I like to do my own kind of rating, and that system is called the Big Dog rating. Now, as far as the overall experience, I'll have to say it's a solid 3.5 out of 5. Mainly because of the availability of the hours, or the time it was open today was a lot different than it was advertised. And, when you purchase a ticket, you expect it to be open, and you still it's only 6 o'clock, and usually they'd be open for 3 hours, but some kind of private event or whatever, it's kind of a letdown. In the next category, as far as the overall design and architecture, solid 5 out of 5. Decoration is included in that, solid 5 out of 5. I feel like they really focused on that, and they did not really focus on which is the next category, the ride and attractions. That is lacking in that area. I feel like this was mainly focused on the aesthetics, although it's brand new and it's in previewing period and the technical preview. There's just so much more that could be added to this park, and I feel like it's lacking for the price point that it's at. And I'm not sure that even with it being technical rehearsal, that it's honestly worth its price point. If it was slightly less, if they included it in the membership passes, it might be worth it. But it was a pretty big letdown with today. And then the last time I came here, really huge letdown with the virtual queue, but luckily I got in there today. So again, the rides and the attractions, they're there. I just don't feel like it's enough to justify the price point. Now, if you're just looking to walk around, enjoy the shops, definitely that's something that you could do here. I do feel like the best area, honestly, was the Super Mario World area followed by the Harry Potter exhibit area. The only downside to the Harry Potter exhibit area is that it was mainly focused around Fantastic Beasts. And if you don't know that whole series very well, it's not really going to make very much sense. When I first came here, the first time, I had no clue what was going on. I went back to my hotel room and found it online, watched it, and it kind of makes more sense. But needless to say, like that area was pretty cool. Followed by that, the second or the third best area would have to be the training the dragon area, how to train your dragon. That's kind of like a close tie with the Darkness Village. That area is just pretty creepy, and I kind of like that stuff anyway, but I don't think it's better than the first two, which is the Harry Potter and the Super Mario World area. The most annoying area is definitely the Donkey Kong area, even though it has one of the best rides. That drum music constantly when you're walking around can get a little hectic. The noise level is also pretty crazy here as well. And like I said throughout this video, like if you are prone to having like sensitivity to noise and a lot of commotion, like this might be a little difficult of a park for you, because when they finally do open, it's going to be really loud. They're probably going to raise the volume up a little bit to kind of accommodate that, kind of level it out. And so it's going to be louder. It might just be at peak loudness right now just to see what the general level should be. But that's honestly my main complaint here, is just the noise is just super loud. It's almost overwhelming for myself, and I don't really have that kind of sensitivity as far as it goes. I mean, I am sensitive to loud bangs and stuff. I don't like that at all. Now, overall, I do think that the quality of this park is up there, but it's just lacking the meat and potatoes. So I guess I can tie into another big dog rating category, which is price point. Honestly, that's a 3.8 out of 5. Everything here is super expensive. Be prepared to spend money on everything and anything that you need, including water. For the most part, souvenirs are, souvenir priced, tourist priced. That's the big thing here is, you're going to spend so much money on food. It's ridiculous. So if you are able to bring snacks, bring snacks. If you're able to bring bottled water, bring bottled water. If you're able to bring a cup that has a lid, you can fill up your water bottle or your cup at one of those Coke stations like you saw me do. Honestly, I can't really justify the pricing of those things for the quality of it. I mean, the food's okay. It's nowhere near like Disney level, and it's nowhere near like exquisite or anything. Solid 3.5 out of 5. I'm kind of just disappointed overall. And today, just because of the early closure, and it was unexpected. It's just it sucks. It really sucks. But got to do what you got to do, and it's all these business people walking in and such. So I'm going to get out of this front gate that way so they don't kick us out. I'll rather just leave myself, let myself out the door. As far as the selection of, souvenirs, definitely think this is solid 5.5. There's a lot of things that are only here, that you can only get here. I'm sure you can get them online, but you can't find a lot of these souvenir items at other Universal shops by any means. I looked for some things, and that's why it's kind of part of the reason why I came here, is also to film content and then get some of the things that I was looking for that I saw the first time I was here. Am I happy that I came here? Sure. Yeah, it was cool. It was an experience, I guess. It should have been longer. It really should have been longer. If I would have known that they closed at 6 today, maybe I overlooked it, but I highly doubt it, because I remember them saying online that it was open until 9. I probably, if I would have noticed that more, and it was like blatantly obvious that they're only open until 6, I probably wouldn't have come today. I would have just, hung out at the Airbnb and just chilled, swam or something. But am I happy that I came? Yeah, I guess. It was worth it. Taste of Universal. I guess that's what it's called. It'd be cool if I could do that. I'm a chef. Can I do the Taste of Universal? I went to chef school. I mean, I guess they're premiering the food that they serve here, which, yeah, it's okay. Nothing crazy, nothing over the top by any means. Food quality here is just the same as the other parks. Nothing really exquisite by any means. Maybe I'll just film this at the Airbnb, the rest of it. Might be a good idea. Who knows? What somber music to walk to? Some somber music to walk to the car. It's definitely crazy. And now we're back at the Airbnb this evening after spending the afternoon at Epic Universal. I'd like to close this with just some final words. If you like these type of reviews and other product reviews, you can go ahead and click on that subscribe button right there. Just go ahead and click on it. There's also a little bell icon. Click on that so that way you can be up to date on all the videos that I upload, as well as all the content that I upload. One thing I don't want to be overly critical about is that they're doing a dry run right now, so it's kind of like a pre-screening. And I know that some things are going to go wrong. One thing that if you do go to Epic Universe, either right now for the pre-screening period or the trial period, is you're going to run into some hiccups. I do want to mention that there will be quite a bit of delays even when they do open. The one thing that I would like to share with everybody is that I'm kind of anxious about the condition of the park as it is right now. I noticed that there's a lot of things that are kind of broken or not really working very well, and I am sure that Universal Studios will get a hold of that and get that all fixed, hopefully by opening sometime in May. May 21st, I believe, is when it does open to the entire public. Be prepared to wait in line. That's one thing that I must stress to everybody. The lines that they have laid out, they're going to be long. And for the areas that they have allocated for those lines, I would expect lines to be, you only get to do a couple rides. So make sure that you're choosing the ones that you really want to do first and make sure you hit those up. Hopefully, they have some kind of speed pass system like they do at the other Universal Studios. But there's going to be those rides where they're not going to be applicable to them. Do I feel like Epic Universe is worth the money? Yes and no. The cost of everything that's associated within the park, you're going to be spending a lot of money. And if you're on a budget, unfortunately, I don't feel like it's worth the money if you're, trying to appease your whole entire family and you only have a certain amount. Just be prepared to fork out a $20 bill for literally everything that you can think of there. Even a bottle of water costs $6, which is astronomical. I was not expecting to spend this much money, and I did, unfortunately. But, it's vacation. It's the first vacation I took in over 10 years, and I really did enjoy myself, but I also feel like that I spent way too much money. There's the option of staying at a hotel that belongs to Universal Studios, and you're going to be spending a lot of money there too for a room. If you just look at the bare minimum, budget-friendly hotel, such as Endless Summers or even Cabana Bay, that's where I stayed. Just be ready to spend a lot of money. When I say a lot of money, like you can look at just the basic pricing of the tickets alone, add that on top of a resort stay. If you're staying at something grand like the Helios, like what? Huh? Like I don't know who can afford that stuff. Even if, I was really wealthy and famous, I wouldn't want to spend that astronomical amount on a hotel room for a single day. But now a solid rating for Epic Universe. I gave you that rating. Overall, I think it's roughly a 3.5 out of 5. I just don't think there's enough there. There is a lot of detail and there's a lot of things to see there. But as far as the actual attractions there's not very many. And for those people that are looking for an attraction-based theme park, Epic Universe is one of those where if you're really looking to ride only one or two rides and then go shopping and also look at some really cool designs, architecture, and just theme-based decorations, that is a great park to do that at. The unfortunate part about this time of me going to Epic Universe is I only got to ride one ride, pretty much. Well, no, two. I got to ride two rides. The Battle at the Ministry of Magic, which that was crazy to even be able to do. Not only that, is the virtual queue was a pain in the butt. I just think that that whole virtual queue thing is me speaking very critical. It's garbage. They are a multi-million billion dollar company, and they are doing this to their customers, and unfortunately, like, it sucks for pretty much everybody, because not only are the customers not able to get in the virtual queue, but I've spoken to a bartender, one of the Harry Potter bars. I'm not going to say what, because I don't want to single this person out, but he was not impressed with Epic Universe. He wasn't able to get in the Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry of Magic, and he's been there 4 times. And for a employee not to be able to, get into the virtual queue, that's just, isn't that bizarre? Like, really? But all in all, I think it's a cool park. If you're going to walk around and shop, it's a great park to do that at. But if you're looking for something fun like a Disney World or Disneyland or, regular Universal Studios or Islands of Adventure, even though those kind of don't really have very many attractions either, I don't think Epic Universe will be for you. But if you're, looking for somewhere to walk around, shop, that might be a park for you. Anyway, once again, my name's Tim. This was the Flannel Vine. Go ahead and comment below. Are you planning on going to Epic Universe when it does open? Or are you planning on going to Epic Universe before it opens if you have the opportunity to? Thank you once again for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to sit down and watch my videos. I certainly appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to being able to read your comments, see you subscribe to my channel, and also giving me a thumbs up, because I really enjoy doing these videos for you. And I hope you enjoyed this blog style kind of review. I know it might have been a long one, but I'm hoping to see you again, and we'll see you later.